Look at this story. Big fight now breaking out between House Democrat Zoe Lofgren of California. She wants to reform the system for FISA surveillance warrants. Those same warrants were used to spy on the Trump campaign. But the Congresswoman is getting pushback from Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff on that. The law reauthorizing these surveillance powers set to expire in just 2 weeks' time on March 15th. Let's bring in my next guest. He's a member of House Judiciary. He's Republican Greg Steube. Great to see you, sir.
Yeah, good to see you.
Your reaction to this fight?
Well, what's interesting is we had this scheduled, and then suddenly an hour before the hearing, they canceled the hearing because, from what we heard, Jerry Nadler didn't have the votes for his version of the bill because Lofgren was trying to make changes. We absolutely 100% need to reform the FISA process. The IG report showed 17 different instances where it was abused. Warrants were given to spy on people in the Trump campaign. And I can tell you people in Florida don't think it's appropriate to be spying on American citizens without a base or a warrant to do that.
You know, Congressman, FISA warrants used to spy on the Trump campaign, they're more powerful than regular criminal wiretaps. They're sweeping. Historically, as you know, they're used against terrorists like al-Qaeda. With them, the FBI can simultaneously spy on telephone, cell phone, emails, computers of a U.S. person in their home, workplace, even in their cars. You can also do physical searches of all of those things. Safe deposit boxes, the mail that they get, and they're approved 99% of the time. I'm not sure, Congressman, the American people understand really the backstory to what happened with the FBI abuses and spying on the Trump campaign.
No, and I hope that soon the Durham report will be done and we'll get to see and hear exactly some things that I believe criminally were going on. You shouldn't have been able to lie to a court and get away with it. So all of those agents that were involved in all those warrants, that the 17 different instances where either they didn't give all the factual information or they outright lied about the factual information or they didn't give exculpatory information, hopefully those people are going to be brought to justice. But I can tell you this, the American people are not fond of a secret court where the person that's going to be spied on has no representation whatsoever in that process.
Yeah.
I think one of the reforms that we need to make is to put somebody in that room to argue on behalf of the American citizens' rights.
And we are finding in the DOJ IG report that there was potential spying going on in the Trump on the Trump administration. Okay, GOP representatives Devin Nunes and Steve Scalise saying this. Watch.
The deep state here is much worse than even I thought it ever was. And so people have to remember that this is 1 yard in a cloud of dust. You have to wake up every day to fight because the socialist left, they've worked hard to take over the Democratic Party. They've worked hard to get Bernie Sanders in the lead.
The people who abuse the FISA process need to be held accountable. And frankly, if people go to jail for abusing that court, I don't think we're going to see those kind of abuses again in the future.
Your reaction?
I agree with them 100%. And they're exactly right. If nobody's held accountable for these abuses, then it's not going to stop the next person from doing that. And you have a bunch of deep state Democrats who have political motivations as to what they're doing, and the American people don't want to stand for it. And I can tell you people in Florida won't stand for it.
Using Democrat-funded and paid for opposition research to spy on a political opposition campaign, the Trump campaign. I want to move to this story. Your reaction to Attorney General William Barr at his speech yesterday at the 2020 National Religious Broadcasters Convention. The Attorney General said this, quote, "Today in the U.S., the corporate mainstream press has become remarkably monolithic in viewpoint at the same time that an increasing number of journalists see themselves less as objective reporters of the facts and more as agents of change." Critics are saying they saw that, Congressman, with the exchange between the president and CNN's Jim Acosta, when Jim Acosta pushed back when the president was in India. Jim Acosta saying CNN is more truthful than you, Mr. President. Your reaction to that?
Well, that's no surprise to anybody that pays attention to the news, how skewed the facts are. I mean, look at Russia that we experienced for 3 years as a country. You had mainstream media sources saying that the Trump campaign conspired with the Russian government, and you had all these anchors saying that that's what the facts were. And after 2 years of investigation in the Robert Mueller report, we find out as a country that that wasn't a fact at all. Yet for 2 years, the media went on and on about that. So that's not a surprise at all. And I think most Americans know now that they have to research the facts for themselves.
Congressman, come back soon. It's great to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Next